Security breaches that have made headlines. In this video, I'm going to define what breaches are, why data is collected, the causes of data breaches, as well as defining intellectual property and the problems of privacy that are being experienced in the world today. I will be using the Capital One data breach, the Canva data breach, and the 2018 Fortnite data breach as an example of data breaches for this assignment. I will also touch up on what can be done in the future to prevent situations like these from occurring again. First, I'd like to start off by defining what a data breach is. What is a data breach? As defined by Norton, the security company, a data breach is a security incident in which information is accessed without authorization. A second definition provided by Reynolds is, a data breach is the unintended release of sensitive data or the access of sensitive data by unauthorized individuals. Now you may be wondering what the purpose of data mining is, if it can possibly be breached. But data is collected for companies to use information to target marketing efforts to consumers who are most likely to buy their products and services, according to Reynolds. What this means is that data is collected so that companies can better market their products to people based on their individual likings. Facebook and Instagram are both two very good examples of companies that use data mining, as they are said to collect likes to see what people are interested in. Next, I'd like to talk about what actually makes data breaches occur. What causes data breaches? In short, hackers. But also, it could be a company's carelessness that leads to these data breaches. Reynolds says data breaches are sometimes caused by hackers breaking into a database, but more often than one might suspect, they are caused by carelessness or failure to follow property security procedures from the company side. Another quote that I found is from Cross, and he says that slow adaptation of security management frameworks is still rather slow for all kinds of reasons, for cost to negligence, ignorance of the need of it. Meaning that sometimes companies are just too cheap to invest in good security measures. Yet, it's important to note that a company's carelessness could actually cost a user a lot, and it could cost them their intellectual property. What is intellectual property, you might be wondering? Well, intellectual property, according to Kitsa, is what broadly describes tangible things such as ideas, inventions, technologies, artworks, music, and literature to which one can claim ownership. Ownership of IP of any of these things may result in economic gain as rewards to personal initial investments before they acquire value. Intellectual property is important because you don't want anybody to steal something that you used your creativity to create. Now I'm going to provide examples of recent data breaches that have occurred. One of these being the Capital One data breach. The Capital One data breach happened on July 19th of 2019. The information of more than 100 million Americans and 6 million Canadians was said to be stolen on this day. A detailed report of this breach is posted in the Capital One website, where it explains what information was stolen, what the company has done to assure that this will not happen again, and what people themselves can do to help. The information that was breached from Capital One customers was their names, social security numbers, account balances, addresses, linked bank account numbers, and phone numbers. Capital One is said to have emailed everybody whose data was thought to be affected by this breach. My second example is Canva. Canva is a website used for all types of graphic design projects, and it was hacked on May 24th of 2019. According to an online article written by SC Magazine, the Canva hackers stole information pertaining to an approximate amount of 139 million users. The hacker later contacted the media outlet SD.net and revealed what type of information he was able to steal. According to SC Magazine, the hacker stated to have exposed data such as usernames, email addresses, encrypted passwords, as well as customer names and city and country information. Campbell was able to stop the cyber attack as it was still happening, but millions of records were still stolen from the site. In November of 2018, the popular game Fortnite fell prey to a massive data breach. Epic Games, the owner of Fortnite, did not want to reveal the amount of accounts that were affected, but it is thought to have impacted millions of players. A U.S. firm, Franklin D. Assar and Associates, filed a class action lawsuit against Epic Games because of this and encouraged players to join their lawsuit if their information was compromised in this breach. The hacker was able to breach account names, passwords, and credit card information. On their behalf, Epic Games said that they constantly encourage players to keep their login information private, as well as reminding them to not use the same password across multiple platforms. The situation with Fortnite only became bigger when the accounts that were breached began to be sold to other players, as well as unaffected players being lured into buying accounts with higher rankings. Some players even paid to receive special skins and other accessories for their characters. Soon after, the investigation launched by BBC revealed that not only were people buying accounts, but they were also being taught how to hack other accounts, which created a huge market where account logins were being sold. In this day and age, where we rely so heavily on technology, it's important to know who looks after us when it comes to data breaches. The FTC is the primary consumer protection regulator. Sector 5 of its founding statute announces that unfair or deceptive acts or practices in affecting commerce are hereby declared unlawful, and empowers the FTC to take enforcement action against conduct. Cybersecurity attacks by McGivern. Basically, in situations like these, it is the FTC who creates guidelines for companies to follow in order to protect consumer safety. They are the ones that set regulations to see what can and cannot be done by companies. So, what is considered an unfair practice by the FTC? Unfairness is governed by the so-called three-part test, which requires that unfair practice causes or is likely to cause substantial injury to consumers which is not reasonably avoidable by consumers themselves and is outweighed by countervailing benefits to consumers or to competition. And this quote is by McGivern. Basically, the FTC has the three-part test to see if a company may be doing something that can be harmful to consumers. In this day and age, it's very important for people to be aware of their rights, as well as to be aware of the information that is being gathered on them once they step into a platform. Still, this is easier said than done because even defining privacy has been an issue. According to Kitza, the issues involving ethics and privacy are many and cover wide areas including morality and law. The rapid advances in computer technology and cyberspace have resulted in rapid changes in these issues and the creation of others. In addition to this, Kita also said, the notion of privacy is difficult to accurately define because the definition of privacy depends on matters such as culture, geographic location, political systems, and religious beliefs. Just like with many things in life, what works for one person does not work for another because we are all different, and so privacy can mean different things to different people. This only furthers my belief that it's important for people to be aware of not only the platforms they are using, but the information that they are putting out whenever they do anything on social media. How do we prevent future breaches? According to McGivern, the FTC, for example, has produced a guide for businesses entitled Start with Security, which focuses on 10 essential data security measures. These principles include several types of access control mechanisms and activate vendor management. The FTC also hosts a frequently updated website with advice for businesses about data security and compliance. Aside from this, people also have power. And you might be wondering, what does power mean? Well, power, according to Morris, refers to a capacity to do things, while influence sometimes and typically does not. I think people have more power than they really think they do have. It is up to consumers to say enough is enough and ask for better regulations on their data, ask for better protection of their data. Because at the end of the day, it is them who gets hurt the most when data breaches occur. If nobody stands up to companies that are too lazy to put in good security measures, the data breaches are just going to continue to happen and businesses will keep suffering. Like in the example from Fortnite, situations can honestly get a lot worse before they get better if nobody does anything. I think it's important for everybody to be aware of what laws exactly they have and what laws they think should be actually made, as well as read the terms and conditions to see what information is really being gathered for whatever platform they are using. This has been my video on data breaches. Thank you for watching and please subscribe. Bye!